When a man who acts out military incidents enters the hospital on The Good Doctor Season 6 Episode 4, he is hurt by an ED maid and has shrapnel inside of him. Powell served in the military. Many of these injuries are ones that she has previously seen and treated. She assures him that everything will be fine, and Sean agrees. A boisterous weather report awakens Lee. She was playing loud music. Sean is speechless but insists he is not worried or upset. Lim needs time, according to Lee. Sean claims that he doesn't need Lim because he still has Glassman and Andrews. Steve used to say that it was their issue if someone didn't want to be his friend. He leaves to meet Glassman for pancakes. Lim gets ready for the day in the meantime and rolls to the elevator. She runs into the garage neighbor, who inquires as to if Murphy is still causing her misery. She gets asked for a ride by the neighbor, who afterwards claims to be joking. Park bids farewell to a woman who lives in New York with her husband and doesn't want him to come visit. Sean has been raised by Glassman to eat pancakes. He crosses the room to observe Sean before leaving and texting that he is unable to attend. The emergency room calls for Sean. The patient is a reenactor who suffered fireworks-related injuries. Powell said he will be all right and that it isn't that bad. A speedboat accident claimed the limb of another sufferer. Park and Morgan argue over a variety of topics, including the surgery plan and what happened the night before. Whatever the case, they must locate a severed foot in the lake. The man awakens. This, according to him, was a first date. He is unaware that his foot was amputated. Powell doesn't appear to be interested in hearing about Asher's military service. She eventually clarifies that she attended the Naval Academy. Anyhow, the shrapnel is preventing the rupture of an aneurysm. Park's office lamps are rearranged by Sean, who then leaves to go to the ER. The police won't discover the foot, according to Jordan. Perez just spreads good energy. Jordan wagers $20 that the foot won't be discovered. The next patient, who no one wants, is the topic of an argument between Morgan and Glassman. Lee approaches Glassman to discuss Sean. He doesn't want to talk about Sean anymore and believes that Sean needs to take responsibility for harming Lim. Sean treats the shrapnel patient alongside Powell. Asher keeps looking for Powell's motivation for joining the Navy. According to Sean, several high school students who aspired to work on fishing boats joined the Navy. Powell is aware that the man is a firecracker. Sean continues to work, the fireworks explode, and an artery is severed. The patient is fortunate, Sean tries to reassure him. The patient is not feeling fortunate. Powell jokes sarcastically that he is acting like he is in a military hospital. Park continues to perform a torturous operation to maintain the leg prepared for the foot, which has still not been located. Andy is frustrated that he hasn't heard back from the date night companion. He never has success finding dates. Perhaps some individuals are destined to live alone. Park shares with him his own difficulties in relationships and urges him to persevere. Andrews doesn't want to give Sean his own office and is confident that he and Park can work things out by cohabitating. He proposes Sean make a concession. Perez and Jordan arrive at the beach to check on the rescue personnel. To acquire a beach towel, Perez leaves. Powell and Asher are aware of the extensive nerve damage. They believe amputation is necessary. No, says Sean. Park cuts in. He's displeased with Sean for moving the desks. Sean is told not to touch his belongings and he rushes away. Sean appears to be upset. Andrews questions Glassman about Sean and Lim's relationship. Glassman is incensed that people are inquiring about Sean and Lim. Perez seeks to determine Jordan's motivation for opposing skinny dipping. They converse in a flirty manner. Andy is in risk due to an active bleed. Because they wouldn't be able to replant the foot if it were discovered, Park doesn't want to close. There is no stopping the bleeding. Sean has made the choice to relocate to a storage space. Although Andrews doesn't like it, he accepts it for now. When the rescue personnel discover the foot, Park is about to give up. Asher and Powell argue about her time in the Navy. In his new workplace, Sean has found a solution and is better able to think. While moving the foot and working on it, Jordan and Perez make an effort not to divert their driver, who finds this amusing. Jordan and Perez arrive on schedule. Sean's plan won't succeed. They must amputate, according to Asher. In one of his trances, Sean visualizes everything and develops a plan that Asher deems hazardous, but Sean insists he can pull it off. Jordan and Park argue over whether the girl ought to have gotten in touch with Andy. Andy begins to crash. No blood flow. He might have lost his leg. Glassman visits Sean and inquires as to his motivation for withdrawing. Glassman, according to Sean, is the one who called off their brunch. Glassman claims that he is upset with Sean for ignoring him regarding Lim's operation. Sean tells Glassman that Lim and Glassman are wrong to be upset because Lim's life was saved by him. He is yelled at by Glassman to accept responsibility. He is expelled from Sean's office. Sean advises his patient to refrain from using pyrotechnics because he was fortunate to survive. Powell's locker is being observed by Asher. He regrets having upset her. He is attempting to make sense of his sheltered upbringing. Powell claims that prior to tearing her ACL, she wanted to play soccer. Aside from the Naval Academy, she declined all of her offers. She could play and the tuition was free. She was then called to active duty. The best choice she ever made was to join the Navy, though. Jordan and Daniel went to fetch their vehicles. He takes her hand, collects his $20, and they both pause to look at one another. They start kissing. He says he's sorry but he can't. Lim's next-door neighbor offers to assist her with her shopping. He catches a nearly dropped bottle of olive oil. She extends a taste to him. Lim appears content as she rolls away. Park examines Morgan's photo on a dating website. Lim converses with her new acquaintance. He manages marketing for Greensley. A restaurant across the street from Lim's workplace is one of his favorites. They choose to visit there for supper at some point. Lee believes Sean is contemplating his confrontation with Glassman, despite the fact that he claims to be considering his patient's shoulder. He claims he must leave. Sean wakes up Glassman by running. He claims that Lim's paralysis can be cured surgically